Here's how to use product page FAQs to get more e-commerce sales. But first, if you don't have an FAQ directly on your product pages, just know that this hack probably won't be super useful to you. You actually need an FAQ on your product pages for this to work. I'll say though, as a side note, if you do sell products that people might have a lot of questions about, right? So pretty much anything slightly technical, maybe anything other than fashion really, you probably want to consider adding an FAQ to your product pages. Place it towards the bottom of your PDPs, put in your most frequently asked questions, and put them into accordions where people can click on the questions to expand and reveal the answers. Now, my CRO agency, SplitBase, has helped optimize hundreds of product pages from leading 8- and 9-figure e-commerce brands over the last decade. And now this trick here that I'm going to share is pretty simple. And it really just consists of having some of your top product questions in your FAQ and utilizing tracking tools to discover which ones customers click on the most. And by the way, the easiest way of doing this, you can do it through GTM, of course, but the easiest way of doing it is just to do it through a heat mapping tool. So heatmap.com, Clarity, Hotjar, and so on. Now, FAQs on your product pages are usually located towards the bottom of the page. And what you want to do is, well, you want to look at which questions people click on the most. And naturally, the questions that people click on the most often give us cues as to what are, well, the most popular questions that people have. And that is pretty valuable if you use those insights properly. For example, based on this, we can hypothesize that the most clicked on questions are the questions that are most important for the sale. If you're using a heat mapping tool like heatmap.com that actually allows you to correlate click data with revenue data even better, you're going to get even more certainty on this. But now, if it's being interacted with a ton, your question that is, in the FAQ, it may signal that you want to address this concern elsewhere and higher up on your product pages as well. Maybe around the product description or in other areas of your website. And even if we go beyond the PDP, depending on the volume of clicks that this question gets, if it's very significant and you realize this is one of the top questions my customers are having about this product, you may even want to address it in your ads. Now, you can also utilize this behavioral data to optimize the FAQ itself and make it even more valuable. For example, the questions that gets absolutely no clicks, remove them or swap them with something that customers might have questions about, or those that gets the most click, make sure to position them higher towards the top of your FAQ. Now, back to how can you utilize those FAQ questions to increase the conversions of your PDPs by better utilizing those questions? Well, just know that this type of insight, right, the amount of clicks you get on your top questions and ultimately your top questions, doesn't come with a specific recommendations on what to do with them. What I mean by that is, let's say you sell kitchen blenders and you discover that your most popular question is, what can it blend? Right? Well, based on this insight, you might hypothesize a lot of things. There's probably a lot of things you can do with that question. For example, you could add an image in your product image carousel to visually show what can go in the blender. You could create a whole section showing what can go in and different recipes and things that you can do with it. Or you may simply address it through your product description, right? Lots of potential implementations and ideas. But there's no guarantees that all those different things will actually increase conversions and that they are worth the effort. So the way you want to utilize those insights is as hypotheses. Use that to generate hypotheses of things that could potentially increase your conversions and then A/B test them. So just to sum this up, okay? 1, install a heat mapping tool if you don't already have one, to better understand which questions get clicked on the most. 2nd, optimize your FAQ, remove the questions that gets no clicks, and prioritize the questions that gets a lot of clicks. Then, the questions that correlates the most with a better purchasing behavior or that have the most clicks, well, make sure to use that insight in those questions and hypothesize how you could utilize those questions and apply and address them elsewhere on your website. And then finally, test those hypotheses and hopefully increase your conversion rate and your revenue. That's it for today. Hope that was valuable. If you want more of this, make sure to like and follow for more.